All right. You guys ready for part 2 to the mouse who ran the house? All right. Here's part 2 to the mouse who ran the house. Part 2 is the cat who ran the trap. So we go from the mouse who ran the house to the cat who ran the trap. We were using all of these different cartoon allusions, allegories, examples, metaphors, alliterations, personifications to explain the nature of the mouse's role in this world of magic. So now let's go back to the proverbial cat with the 9 lives. Does it mean that the cat can afford to die 8 times and be straight? That's not what we mean. That's not what we mean. That's urban legend. Like, yo, this cat got hit by a car. It died, but it came back. Pet cemetery. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and acknowledge the folklore and the urban legend behind that. But essentially 9, that's the mystic psychic number. And it's the fullest number of completion. After 9, you go back through the gate again. So you're back to a 0. There's no single number higher than 9. You could arguably say 0 in terms of its importance. And if you say that, that's okay. Ain't nothing wrong with that. But for the sake of being a completion and like the highest number, let's go with 9. Let's go with 9. So 9 is the psychic, the medium. So you figure there's 7 chakras and 8 and 9. Not that it necessarily goes higher, but you can put other energy centers into the crown area and say, look, I'm dealing on the mental, solar, and transcendental sphere in terms of my multi-dimensional assignment. So in that case, the 9, a lot of your interceding will take place in that realm. So that's where a lot of intercessory prayer is, where they call it. You know, if you were down with the CIA in the 70s, they would have called it clairvoyant. You're part of the clairvoyant team. You're part of the Majestic 12. So you would have been assigned a team of lookers. And usually, and I'm seeing this spiritually, I'm winging it on this one. Typically, when something gets disbanded, that usually means it worked. I know, you heard me right. When something gets disbanded, that usually means it works. Don't ask me how I know or why. Or even if I know, shoot, I could be wrong. I just feel 100% like that is right. Because there's just something weird about the kind of lies that the enemy tells when you've been hearing those lies enough to recognize patterns. So in the disbandedness, right, of the onlookers, the telepaths, the empaths, the Jean Greys, the Magnetos, the Morphs, what's that other? It was some other kind of guy that was, Professor X's. So all the telepaths, the psychics, the clairvoyants, the channelers, the seers, the sages, the mages, all of those, the shamans, they're all working through the power of the cat's eye. This is why in the movie Constantine with Keanu Reeves, ironically dressed as Neo again, which is another simulation, and one of the simulations, Neo was Constantine. But in that, in order to transport in and out of realms, he uses water and a cat. Well, we're in Aquarius, so we're already dealing with the water. And so now we got the cat. And the cat does what? To the mice, eventually, right? Gets the mice, eats the mice. Naturally. Mice don't get away from cats. I've had cats and mice before. Nah, mice don't get away from cats. They don't. But you had to have a cartoon like Tom and Jerry for the idea of creating an underdog, and you needed Mighty Mouses and whatnot to create the underdog, and you needed Jerry to always be fooling Tom. But essentially, No, Tom eats Jerry in the very first episode, and he's only taking a few maneuvers. There's no. What's funny is to see the tail of the mouse wiggling in the cat's mouth, because in most cases the cat eats a mouse whole. You ain't gonna be seeing it doing no chewing or nothing like that for whatever reason. At least that's what my experience in the projects has been. In my years as a little kid, that was what I saw in terms of the cat mouse relationship. So for the cat, 9 lives is not the number of lives, but a particular kind of life you live. Do you live a life that's lucid? Are you living a lucid life? That's the other end of what it means to be psychic, to be lucid. Very, very lucid. Are you living a life that, you're really breaking down and decoding and understanding and making power moves in and navigating through with more excellence as time goes on, as you engage in deeper study, engage in the very 9 energies, right? They talk about the 9 ether being the most majestic, yet the darkest, yet the most powerful. In some folklore, even the 9 being the number of God, being the true number of the God-man, the 9 ether being. So you have the magic behind the number 9. And 9 is so close to the number none, which is 0. Yeah, 9 is powerful like that. So you have 9 lives. Who has 9 lives? Because those are the ones that understand the cat. This is also where you get the name cathedral. It's cat's head. Cathedral is a cat's head. Cat head droll. Cathedral. Cathedral. Cat head droll. Cat heads roll. Cat heads roll. Cathedrals. Cat heads roll. Cat heads roll. Do y'all see that? How cathedrals is spelt? If I'm lying, then there were no priests accused of anything in regards to the boys. If I'm lying about cathedrals being cat heads roll. That's exactly what it is. I didn't realize that until this very second. So the cat on the dark side, has its symbologies. Don't, like if a black cat crosses your path, you're unlucky. They even put it on the big screen, right? When a black cat crosses Neil's path, he's getting ready to be very unlucky, because it's going to be what? A reminder that he's trapped in not the real world, but a world that is mimicking the real world. So they made the black cat, instead of a symbol of crossing into a deeper reality, they made it a reminder that you're stuck in a fake reality that mimics a real reality. That's the difference between why the millennials still have a mind left through all of their Nintendo versus Generation Z with their PlayStation. The difference why our IQ points, unfortunately, were maybe almost 50 to 60 points higher based on certain studies, is because with Nintendo, Genesis, Sega Genesis, and Super Nintendo, the games were obviously fake. It was known that this was a game. There were elements in it that would point to absurdities, so you could get the unrealism of the game that you were playing. But now we're going towards making the game more real than reality itself, so that you don't know the difference between reality and the game. Because in all reality, for a lot of those who control reality, it is just a game. It's just a game. So you got to be the cat. And in this magic kingdom, a cat has a bag of tricks. Felix is the cartoon cat that got the bag of tricks. What color is he though? What color is he though? I don't mean that culturally, you understand, because, you feel me? What color is he though? He's black. But his name is what? Felix. And he has a bag of tricks. Whatever he needs to get through this dispensation, this age that we're in, he has it on hand. He don't gotta go back to the house. He got a whole bag of tricks. He's equipped. He's not going in the war without his equipment. He's not going he's not going behind enemy lines without his weaponry. Felix has a bag of tricks. This is a cat with 9 lives. The cats, right? As other cat heads roll, because instead of acquiring a bag of tricks, they've acquired a bag of tricks. For reasons of respect, I'm not going to hammer that part home too much further. I'm going to just let that sit with you. I'll repeat it for anybody that didn't hear it. For some people, for some versions of the cat magic, on the cat side of things, they have a bag of tricks, just like Felix, able to have all the solutions needed for this age right on hand. To be able to defend themselves from any calamities, they got it right on them. Right on their person. They ready. They equipped with the word. They ain't even got to reach for a Bible. It's right in the bag. Whatever you need, they got it right on the mouth. They can say it to you right there, and they can tell you. They're a wealthy resource. They have a wealth of knowledge. They go in their bag of tricks, but for others, all they have is a bag of tricks. Matter of fact, I will expound on that further. My page is for the grown. Even though it's clean, it's for the grown. Even though the language is not explicit, it's for the grown. Yeah, that's true. A bag of tricks. Like, so all they have is people around them that wants to spend every dime they got on feeling as good as they can possibly feel all the time. You know, regardless of what real business they gotta handle doesn't get handled. So that's like tricking. That's how I'm looking at tricking. Like, yo, I know the rent is due, but if I get that, I'm about to get me another case or another ounce. Forget the car payment. I'm about to go cop this ounce. If they got any problems, I'll just keep driving around till they catch. You know, they gotta catch me before they can repossess the car. They gotta see where, you know, all of that kind of silliness. The other side of the cat, where cat heads roll. Because, like Felix, instead of having a bag of tricks, they have a bag of tricks. Instead of having solutions right on hand, they got leeches all in their DMs. Leeches. Because you figure it's tricking. So tricking is like, yo, I got to spend to get what I want. You know what I mean? So they tricking, right? That's tricking, essentially. Yeah. Essentially, that's what it is. You know, versus solutions, you'll have that. So it's like, whether you're the cat or the mouse in this dispensation, because you have a scenario where the cat gets chased, which means, we're gonna have to get into the dog. I'm gonna go ahead and try to beat y'all to it. Now that I talked about the cat, I guess I'm gonna have to talk about the dog. And what does the dog say? The dog says what George Clinton says: why must I feel like that? Why must I chase the cat? It's Gotta be the dog in me. So everybody has a DOG backwards form of God. So they're starting off chasing their tails, God in reverse, and led by their nose. Stay tuned. See you soon.